Hi everyone! Welcome to our YouTube channel, Research Ready and Student Matters by Doclin. I have a short video this time and I'm going to discuss about the different or the common terms that are being used in quali and quanti. No, meron kasi tayong mga terminology na ginagamit kapag ang gagamitin natin ay qualitative approach at ang gagamitin din natin ay quantitative approach. So, magkaiba sila. So, these are common terms that are mistakenly used by students and researchers. So, ba't ba kailangan namin sundin yan, ma'am? Because this also reflects the methodology or the design of your research. No? So, the use of the correct terminologies will reflect kung yung design ba na ginagamit natin ay tama o hindi, or yung title na nilagay natin doon sa ating research paper with the use of the terminologies ay maire-reflect niya kung ano ba yung gusto or yung design ng ating research paper, whether we are using a quanti or we are using a qualitative approach. So, pagbasa mo pa lang doon sa research paper, alam mo na kung tama yung design niya or hindi. So, we don't use respondents, we don't use the subject of the study if we are going to use qualitative research. So, most commonly, we are using participants and we are using also key informants. You're not using statistical analysis in qualitative, but you're using thematic analysis or content analysis. But to know more about that, please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel para marami na makapanood dito sa ating research at ma-share nyo rin siya sa iba. Okay? So, itong lesson video na ito ang magdidiscuss sa inyo kung ano yung mga common terms na dapat ninyong malaman pag kayo ay gagamit ng quali o kaya naman ng quantitative research design. Quali or quanti? Ano nga ba ang tamang gamitin natin? Maraming mga estudyante ang nalilito sa tamang term sa research. And sometimes, nagkakapalit-palit pa yung mga gamit nila ng terminologies. In this lesson video, we're going to simplify the key differences between qualitative and quantitative research in easy-to-understand terms. I'm going to give you examples that you can relate to, but I'm not going to give all the terms that are used in quanti and quali. Bibigyan ko lang kayo ng explanation about your confusion and how are you going to help you use the right terms with confidence. These are only the common terms that are used for quanti and qualitative approach. Why it matters? Because in research, terminology reflects methodology, which means the words you use should match the type of study you're doing, which is very right. If your study is qualitative, your language should reflect exploration, understanding, and interpretation. If it is quantitative, of course, your term should show how measurement, variables, and statistical analysis. When you use the right terms, you show your reader or panelists that you also understand the kind of study you're doing, whether it is quanti or quali. Kasi yung terminology mo, makikita yung level of understanding mo dun sa research mo eh. So, kung gumagamit ka ng qualitative, pero ang pinag-uusapan mo ay variables at hypothesis, pinapakita mo sa reader mo o dun sa panel member mo na nakukonfuse ka kung ano yung gagamitin mo na research design. So, all of these things can lead to confusion. Yung panel mo might not understand what kind of study you're really doing. Yung loss of credibility mo as a researcher. Pwede kasi nilang isipin, you just copied a title or don't fully understand your methodology. Ibinimix mo yung mga terms, no, that can lead to confusion. And sometimes it lead to rejection of your proposal or your manuscript. If the mismatch is too big, yung proposal or manuscript mo might get returned for revision or worse, pwede siyang i-reject. Qualitative research language of meaning and experience. So what are those terms? I'm giving you only examples, but I'm not going to give you the complete copies of terminologies used in quanti and quali, but these are the terms that are commonly mistaken used interchangeably. Qualitative research is exploratory. So in other words, it's all about understanding human behavior, experiences, emotions. So it answers the how and the why of a phenomena. That's why ang qualitative study is more on descriptive and interpretive. Okay? It's not about numbers. It's not about measurement. It's about understanding. Always remember the term understanding. Specifically, ang ina-explore niya human behavior, emotions, lived experiences, beliefs, and perspectives. Hindi siya nagtetest ng hypothesis. It tries to answer deeper questions, which sometimes starts with how or why, because the focus is meaning and context. Kaya yun yung mga ginagamit na language. So, encounter nyo madalas yung mga terms na lived experiences, perceptions, narratives, insights, themes, or patterns. Instead of using numbers or statistics or analyze or observations or emotions to find recurring ideas and build understanding. Here are the key terms you should be using when you're going to use qualitative. Okay? Participants, not respondents. In qualitative research, you are not simply collecting survey answers. You're engaging with people's lived experiences, their emotions, and their perspectives. The term participant shows respect. Yun pala yung purpose nun. So everybody must know it. The term participant shows respect and acknowledges that they are actively contributing their personal stories and insights. Hindi lang sila basta nagpi-fill out ng form. Nag-share sila ng kanilang experiences. Second, you should use research questions, not hypotheses. Kasi ang qualitative research does not test prediction. Instead, nag-explore siya ng mga open-ended questions para makita niya yung meaning, okay, ng isang phenomena or ng isang sitwasyon. And you are not proving anything. You're trying to understand something deeply. Compare with quanti. Next is themes, patterns, and codes. You're not looking for variables. Unlike in quantitative research, you are looking for recurring ideas, the feelings or experiences in your data, and these become your themes, not numerical relationships. You can get themes through coding. You organize raw data, like what? Interview transcripts. Ina-analyze mo to, tinitignan mo siya into a meaningful categories to reveal patterns. Use data gathering or data generation, not data collection. Isn't always collected in a fixed format compared to quanti. Ang ginagawa sa quali, it emerges naturally from interactions like interviews, observation, or focus group. Lumalabas lang siya. No? You're not collecting it, you're generating it and gathering it. The process is more flexible. It's fluid and collaborative than just ticking boxes. And lastly, thematic analysis, narrative analysis, or content analysis, not statistical tests. Okay? Instead, analysis involves interpreting words, phrases, emotions, and stories to make sense of meaning. You break down the data into themes or narrative to build understanding. You are not going to calculate significant levels. Reminder, using the correct terms in your research shows that you truly understand your qualitative methodology. It also strengthens your credibility and helps your panel or reader to follow your research logic more clearly. Let's move naman on quantitative research. Language numbers or language of numbers and measurement. Quantitative research is all about measuring variables and analyzing numerical data to test relationships. So, ang ginagawa natin dito ay sinusubok nating alamin ang relasyon ng mga variables. Is there a relationship between two variables? Is there a significant difference between two groups? Or how much, how often, or how many? Ito yung mga tanong natin. This type of research uses
Of course, mathematical and statistical tools para makita natin yung relationships o kaya naman yung cause and effect. So qualitative research, as I have mentioned kanina, this is exploring meaning. Quantitative research is seeking objective and it has to be precise. Because the goal of quantitative research is objectivity and generalizability, while in qualitative, it's transferability. Okay? Remember the term. For quantity, it's objectivity and generalizability, while in qualitative, it's transferability. When you said objective, it must be based on facts, not opinions or personal interpretations. When it is generalizable, it means the meaning of the results can be applied to a larger population, not just a sample. Because of this, yung quantitative research typically uses structured measurements like yung survey, yung test, gumagamit ng Likert scale, large sample sizes, and statistical analysis to support the findings. Now, here are the key terms that you should use. Respondents, not participants. Because you are collecting measurable data, usually through a structured tools like survey, rating scales, or checklists, it emphasizes that they are providing answers to specific standardized question. Kaya nga nagre-respond. Okay? They are providing answers to specific standardized questions. So their response, they are called respondents. Variables. So they can be independent and dependent. So, ginagamit ito palagi sa ating quantitative. Kaya pagka meron kang quantitative research, ang common question sa'yo, ano ang iyong independent at dependent, ano ang iyong cause at ang iyong effect. Okay? And then, we have hypothesis, not research questions. And qualitative research doesn't have hypotheses. They rather have assumptions. You are not exploring, you are predicting. A hypothesis is a clear testable statement about the expected relationship or difference, while qualitative is an exploration. While in quantitative, it is testing a statement about expected relationship or difference between variables. Data collection, not data generation, because you use structured tools to gather the data. Consistent ka doon sa ginagamit mong data. This can be questionnaire, standardized test, checklist, rating scales. Kasi ginagamit natin to kasi nga ang ating purpose is objectivity and ease of analysis. While on statistical tools, hindi ka gumagamit ng teams or codes. No? Sa descriptive statistics, pwede kang gumamit ng mean, median, mode, standard deviation, ANOVA, and other statistical treatment. Using the right terms not only strengthens your research write-up, but also shows your mastery of the quantitative method. So, pag alam mo yung language, yung statistics, yung accuracy and evidence, it's very good to note that the researcher knows what he or she is doing. What are the common mistakes to watch out for when you're going to use these quanti and qualitative terms? Using respondents in a qualitative study, remember, these are participants. You are not going to survey the respondents. So it's a wrong term. Okay? Use participants. In a qualitative, use respondents per quanti. Talking about variables in a phenomenological study is a qualitative design. Qualitative doesn't use variables. It explores themes, patterns, or codes. Third, including a hypothesis in a case study or ethnography. It cannot be. It's not appropriate. You're not testing, you're understanding, or you're exploring. Case study or ethnography is another qualitative design. Saying you will use mean and standard deviation in a study based on interviews, that also cannot be. These tools are used for numerical data, not narratives. So if you're going to use, I'm going to use thematic analysis, narrative analysis. So that's for qualitative. When writing your research proposal or manuscript, make sure everything is aligned. Remember that your title, your statement of the problem, your data gathering tools, and your method of analysis. Now, let me give you samples here so that you can further understand the use of terminologies in quanti and quali. Identify whether it's qualitative or quantitative and explain why. Okay, so let's have the first example. The impact of online learning hours on the academic performance of grade 10 students. So this is a quantitative research. Why? Because this title uses the word impact, which suggests a cause and effect relationship. It involves measurable variables. What are those? Online learning hours, which is the independent, and the academic performance as the dependent. This would require numerical data like test scores and R-slug. It can be analyzed through statistical tools. So number one is quanti. Okay. Second, exploring the coping mechanism. So this is qualitative. The word exploring signals an in-depth, open-ended inquiry. So that's already a tip to you. So when you see the word exploring, commonly it's a qualitative research. The focus is coping mechanism, which are personal, emotional, and behavioral. It's not numerical. The third one, is there a significant relationship between sleep duration and test anxiety? This is very easy for you to identify. This is quantitative because the term significant relationship clearly points to a statistical analysis such as correlation. And there has to be a variables like sleep duration and the test anxiety. Four, live experiences of teachers handling multi-grade classes in remote areas. This is qualitative. The praise live experiences is a classic indicator of a phenomenological research. The last one, effect of leadership style. This is clearly quantitative. The use of the word effect indicates cause and effect relationship. It has also an independent and dependent variable. This study would likely use survey or performance matrix and can be tested using ANOVA or regression. Okay, so I have given here a sample of sentences and let's spot the wrong term. First one is the respondents were interviewed using open-ended questions. So you can see there the word respondents. However, it has also open-ended questions. So it can be, or it should be, the participants were interviewed using open-ended questions, not respondents. Second one, the hypothesis of the phenomenological study focus on emotional resilience. There is no hypothesis in phenomenology. So you can say the research question of the phenomenological study instead of using hypothesis. The third one, this research collected themes from 100 participants through a survey. So this research generated themes from 100 participants through interviews. Fourth one, the researcher computed the mean and standard deviation of the interview responses. Why it's wrong? These are statistical tools. It's used in quantitative research, not in quali. So it can be corrected as the researcher conducted a thematic analysis of the interview responses. And then lastly, the study tested the significant difference between teaching strategies using narrative analysis. You cannot use narrative analysis in quantitative. Instead, you can use a thematic analysis. But you can refine this one such the study tests a significant difference between teaching strategies using ANOVA. Okay? I hope that you learn about the common terms used in quanti and quanti. So don't mix it up so that you can establish the credibility and reliability of your research paper as to quality.
Okay, so that ends our lesson video on the common terminologies that are being used when you're using or when you are having quali or quantitative approach. I hope na ito, no, sa basics siya sa research, malaman na natin kung paano natin siya gagawin. At ulitin ko, nire-reflect kasi nito kung yung ating methodology or yung design na ginamit natin doon sa ating research paper ay tama or hindi. Madali nating makikita no, mako-comprehend kung ano ba yung research paper base dito sa ginagamit nating terminologies. Okay? So please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. And always remember, we unlock insights to empower your minds. Good luck on your research paper. Bye-bye everyone!